Do you have a car door glass that needs replaced? If you do, then you're in luck. In this video, Donnie is going to show you how quick and simple it is to replace a door glass. It only takes a Phillips screwdriver, 10mm socket, trim tool, and 30 minutes of your time.
Okay, the first thing I'm doing here is removing the duct tape and plexiglass. This is what I put in there until I could get a side glass for it. And this held up for, quite a long time, did its job, served its purpose. But now it's time to take it out. And now I'm getting a small flathead screwdriver and I'm removing the small glass chunks, because this tempered glass breaks into small little pieces, and if you don't want to have any of those pieces inside that channel, because that'll rub up against the new glass when you put it in. Now I'm removing a clip right there. It's just a small clip that helps hold the door panel on. So I'm going to pop it out. And now I'm going to get a Phillips screwdriver, and the rest, a lot of this is Phillips. There's just a couple of Phillips screws, and there's one in the door handle right here. I'm going to take that out, remove that, and I wasn't sure, I could remember, and I'm going to check down here. I thought there might be one down there, but there's not. But I checked down here on the armrest, and there's one, so I'm going to go ahead and remove that one. And again, that is a Phillips screwdriver, or Phillips screw, which requires a Phillips screwdriver. Now I'm just feeling around the bottom. Sometimes there's some screws that may be attached down there. There's not on this one, but I just wanted to make sure before I start trying to pull clips with the trim tool. Now I've got this trim tool. I got this from Eastwood. It works really good, because some of them you just pry, but this one you actually squeeze and it pops it apart, which makes it a lot easier than your traditional trim tools. I really like this one. So what I'm doing, I'm going around the door, I'm locating those trim panel clips, and then I'll pull it apart. And that'll help prevent from breaking them, because these clips, they're available, you can get them, but there's a lot of different ones. Sometimes it's hard to find the right one, and they do cost, so I'm trying to be careful not to break any of these clips. So I've got all the clips loose, and now I'm removing the door handle part there. Just get it out of the way, and got that removed. Just kind of showing you that piece. And now I can continue taking the door panel off. Now the armrest, there's going to be some screws under there, so that pulls up on one end. It's got a metal clip that clips down in there, right there, and then the other end just has a lever that slides under that. And underneath that arm, there's another Phillips screw to remove. So I'm removing that. Now I'm just kind of determining if anything's still holding that on. So that I can tell the door panel is loose. So now I'm just going to lift out and up, and this door panel will come off. Now I've still got the power windows and lock holding that in place, and I'm going to have to remove that. Remove the plastic that's covering the door so I can access the bolts that holds the window in. Right now I'm taking the wires off that hold the regulator in. I'll take that loose so I can take the door panel off, but then I'm going to put it back on so I can roll the window up and down, to get the regulator in the right place to remove the bolts for the window. There's a tweeter right here that was in the way, so I wanted to remove that. Just took a couple of screws to get that out. Now once I got that out of the way, I can remove this plastic, and now I have access to the holes that's inside the door panel, so that I can see the bolts that hold the window regulator in. And the window regulator, this is what is the 10mm. This is where you're going to need the 10mm socket and ratchet. So now I'm going to plug this back in to get, you can see that regulator moving up and down there, and that's just the motor moving that regulator up and down. But I want to position that to where it'd be easy to get to. So I'm looking at it, trying to find out where that place is at. Right there looks pretty good, but to get to that second bolt, I think I'm going to have to raise it just a little bit. So right there I can get to both of them. I just pointed to them. So now I'm going to get my 10mm socket and ratchet, and I'm going to remove those two. Now this has the two pieces of the side glass, the old one in. I don't need those pieces because the new glass has those on there. So really this is just a bolt-on glass. You unbolt the old one and you bolt the new one back on. The windows on this are really pretty easy. You can see that one piece that I took off, which is a plastic piece, but it's glued to the window, the side glass. Now I'm getting my ratchet in there to take the other one off. Now I've got that one, I can remove that, and now I'm ready to get the other glass, put it in. You can see that I dropped that piece there, and I'll pick that up here in a little bit. Now what I'm doing is I'm making sure the places I couldn't get to inside the door panel, that channel where the glass runs up and down, I'm getting that small flathead screwdriver and making sure that there are no more chunks of glass. I'm basically just knocking them out and they're falling to the bottom of the door, which we'll address that in a little bit. I want to make sure all small chunks of glass are removed so that it doesn't interfere with the new glass rolling up and down. You can see those plastic pieces, it's already inserted on this glass. So now I'm just going to drop the glass in at an angle and then make sure that it slides into both tracks, you know, on the front and the rear of the door. Now I've got it in place, and now all I need to do is align those plastic inserts up with the window regulator. Once that's aligned up, I can put the bolts in. So I'm getting it set, getting it where it should be, and now I'm grabbing the bolts and I'm just going to put them back in. You may have to raise the window up or down a little bit to get that just right. Now I'm getting my 10mm socket and ratchet, and I'm going to snug this up. I don't want to get it too tight yet until I get the other one in. Once I get both bolts in, then I can tighten them. And again, you want to get these snug. You don't want to just crank down on them as hard as you can, or you might strip something. So first I'm just going to hand snug them, and now I'm going to test it before I put the door panel on. You know, you want to make sure that it does run up and down properly the way it should. It's not hitting any chunks of glass. And also, before I put the door panel on, I want to vacuum it out. There's a bunch of broken glass in the bottom here from when it broke, also from the pieces that I knocked out with that screwdriver. So I want to make sure all the glass is out from inside the door. If not, it's going to rattle. You want to be sure to put your barrier back on, because this helps prevent wind and things like that from entering into the passenger compartment. And I've got to remove the electrical component again so that I can get the door panel back on properly. So I removed that, the electrical connection, and now I'm just making sure that the barrier's on. And it usually will stick on pretty good because it has a self-stickiness to it, but there's a few places that was a little bit loose. So I'm going to use just a little bit of duct tape to go over that area just to make sure that it makes a good seal, a good fit. There's just a few places that needed a little additional adhesive to hold it in place. Okay, I've got that back on. Now I've got the door panel. I'm basically just going to reverse the process. I'm running the wires through where they should go, and then I'm going to, and again, it's the tweeter. I almost forgot to put that on, so I'm going to make sure that's screwed on before I put the door panel on. And I have done things like that before, you know, got something on and oh man, I forgot to put something in. I almost did here, but a couple screws to get that tweeter speaker in. So I get that screwed on. Now once that's screwed on, then I can put the door panel on. Before you snap the door panel in, you want to make sure that the wires, that they are going through to the correct opening. So that's what I'm doing right here, making sure they go through properly. And once that's done, you want to set the top of the door panel on so it latches over the top, push down, and then I'm going to pop all those clips back in. Once all the clips are secured and the door panel's back on, I can start putting the Phillips screws back in. There's that one underneath the armrest there. Get that one on. I get the part that goes around the door handle on, and then I can put the screw back in that area. All the screws on this was Phillips, which made it simple. And the bolts for the regulator was a 10mm. So it really doesn't take many tools to do this side glass, and this is really something simple that anyone can do. Now I'm just reversing the process of putting that on. Now that back part, it just pushes in the front and snaps into the back. Okay, just finishing up what I, kind of reversed what I did. Put the door handle on, the screws that go there, and then I put the armrest parts back on, and that will wrap this up. Pretty simple process. But if you like this video, be sure and give us a thumbs up, give us a like. I'd appreciate it if you share this with others. And thanks for watching this video and all videos. I really appreciate it. One last thing I want to mention, make sure that it still rolls up and down correctly.
Don't forget to head on over to collisionblast.com.